A, B and C can complete a work in 20, 24 and 30 days respectively. All three of them starts together, but after 4 days, A leaves the job and B left the job 6 days before the work was completed. C completed the remaining work alone. In how many days C completed remaining work, and in how many days was the total work completed? It's a straight and simple question in my view. We know the time taken by each of these guys, right? A, B and C, 20, 24 and 30. So I can say A's capacity is 1 by 20, B's capacity is 1 by 24 and C's capacity is 1 by 30. You know what capacity is, right? Capacity is the amount of work done by a person in 1 day. So if A takes 20 days, the amount of work that he can do in 1 day is 1 by 20. Similarly, the amount of work that B can do in 1 day is 1 by 24 and the amount of work that C can do in 1 day is 1 by 30. Now try to observe the scenario here, right? All three of them start together. All A, B, C start together, but after 4 days, A leaves the job. So A worked for how many days? A worked only for 4 days. Yes or no? A worked only for 4 days because after 4 days he left the job. And B left the job 6 days before the work was completed. 6 days before the work was completed. B left 6 days before the work was completed. C completed the remaining work alone. C completed the remaining work alone. Now if you observe in the whole process, C is the only person who has worked throughout. So let's assume C has worked for D days. Total number of days is D days. Total days is equal to D. Total number of days is equal to D, and C has worked for all the D days. C started the work, C has never left. A left after 4 days, so A worked for 4 days. D worked for all the C worked for all the D days, and B worked only for D minus 6 days. D minus 6 days. Why? Because B left the job 6 days before the work was completed. The work was completed on D days, right? After D days, B left 6 days before that. So B worked only for D minus 6 days. That's it. You're done. C worked for D days, B worked for D minus 6 days. A worked for 4 days. You know their capacities. You know what is the total work, right? Total work is always 1 unit. So based on all this, I can now say that the capacity into number of days for all of them added together should result in 1. So A worked for 4 days at a capacity of 1 by 20. So 1 by 20 into 4 plus 1 by 24 into D minus 6 plus 1 by 30 into D is equal to 1. This is the work equation. What I've written here on the right hand side is the work equation. That's it. This is what you need to frame. And ideally in the exam, you guys should start with this statement. Whatever I've written on the left hand side is just for your information. You don't have to put on paper. You don't have to put these steps on paper. All this is given in the question itself, right? 1 by 20, 1 by 24, 1 by 30 is given in the question. 4 days, D minus 6 days is given in the question. You should straight start with this equation and solve it. So 1 by 20 is the capacity of A work for 4 days. 1 by 24 is the capacity of B work for D minus 6 days. 1 by 30 is the capacity of C work for D days. Total work done is 1 unit. Solve for D. You will get the answer. Now let's say the LCM is, I'll not prefer cancelling 4 with 20 here. I'll take the LCM as 120 instead. LCM is 120. 20 goes how many times? 6 times. 6 into 4, 24. 24 goes how many times here? 5 times. So 5 into D minus 6. So 5D minus 30. Plus 30 goes how many times? 4 times. So 4D equals to 1. Now simplify. 5D plus 4D, 9D. This 24 minus 30 is minus 6. So this 120 goes on the other side. Minus 6 when taken on the other side becomes plus 6. So 126. You're able to follow. 5D plus 4D is 9D. Minus 6. Minus 6 taken to the other side becomes plus 6. So 120 plus 6, 126. 126 goes how many times? 90 plus 36, 14 times. So D is equal to 14. 14 days. The units are days. Now, read the question. In how many days C completed the remaining work? C completed the remaining work. And in how many days was the total work completed? Total work was completed in 14 days. Very clearly. Now, can you tell me in how many days did C complete the remaining work? Simple. C completed the remaining work in 14 minus 6 days. 14 minus 6 days. Don't have to do any other calculation. 8 days is the answer. Now, why are we taking 8 days? Simple. See, what do you mean by remaining work? Remaining work started only when B left, right? Yes or no? Or hold on. No. I think it should not be 14 minus 6. It should be 6 days. C completed the remaining work, not in 8 days. Try to understand this part. In how many days did C complete the remaining work? So if you observe, when did B leave? Try to understand. Actually, C completed the remaining work 6 days is available in the question itself. We don't have to put anything on paper for that. Because B left the job 6 days before the work was completed. So when B left, A was already out of the picture, right? So when B left, only C was left out. C was doing the work. And C completed the remaining work in 6 days. So half of the question is already solved. 50 marks, 50% of the marks are already there. Nobody has observed this. C completed the remaining work in 6 days. Because for the last 6 days, C was working alone. B left 6 days before the completion, right? Meaning for the last 6 days, there was nobody other than C. So C completed the remaining work in 6 days. And in how many days was the total work completed? 14 days, which is available here. Suppose the question says, for how many days did B work? B worked only for 8 days. 4 days, B worked for 8 days. So obviously, if you observe in a span of 14 days here, in a total span of 14 days, A worked only for 4 days. B worked only for 8 days. Yes or no? Here, B worked for this 8 days. A worked only for 4 days. And remaining 6 days, only C worked. C worked throughout actually. C worked for all the 14 days, but alone C was working for 6 days. So in this window, all A, B, C worked. For the first 4 days, A, B, C all worked. For the next 4 days, only B and C worked. For the last 6 days, only C worked. You're getting it? So 6 and 14 is the answer, which I don't think anybody has marked. So all of you are wrong. 6 days and 14 days is the answer. 6 days and 14 days is the answer.